Correlations. The technique which is used to examine and investigate a potential link between two measured variables is called a correlational analysis. It is important to note how correlations are useful when it is only possible to measure variables rather than manipulate them. That is because in that situation a cause and effect relationship does not exist and thus an experiment cannot be conducted. Furthermore, if any link is found between two variables in a correlation cannot be assumed to be a causal relationship. We cannot assume that one variable is the reason that there is change in another variable. For example, if we are to investigate a relationship between unemployment and rate of criminal activity, then it is important to operationalize them, so that they may be measured, as it is nearly impossible to manipulate them practically. That is because of the extent of their scope and also how there may be other influencing factors such as poverty, social atmosphere, etc. Thus, a cause cannot be determined. In order to look for or establishing a correlation between two variables, each variable must exist over a range/spectrum and it must be possible to measure them numerically. To collect data and information for correlations, all of the above-mentioned research methods are used: self-reports, observations, etc. It is important to note that before assuming that one correlation is the cause of increase in a variable which in turn has caused an increase in the other variable, there are other factors that might respectively cause changes in both variables. All that is possible to be established is that the two variables that exist in a relationship vary together, not that there exists a causal relationship between them, as it even may coincidental. As a result, in a correlation there are measured variables or covariables rather than dependent and independent variables. In order to make decisions or conclusions about causality, an experiment has to be conducted so that there is more certainty about the manipulation of one variable that has caused the change in the other. However, if a correlational study is conducted and it is found that there is no linkage between the two variables, then it is possible to establish that there is no causal relationship. The relationship's nature between the two variables in a correlation can be described in terms of its directions, positive or negative. In a positive correlation, the two variables present increase together in the same direction, so higher values on one variable consequently correspond with higher value on the other, directly proportional. For example, a positive correlation would be between exposure to aggressive models and violent behavior. Greater exposure to aggressive models would result in increased violent behavior, as witnessed in Bandura et al.'s study. In a negative correlation, the two variables present increase and decrease together, consequently, inversely proportional. Higher values on one variable consequently correspond with lower value on the other. For example, a negative correlation might exist between obesity and low income, with higher levels of obesity being observed with lower levels of income, given low-quality food with next to zero nutritional value is often cheap, such as fast food, candy, etc. Get complete notes in PDF and book form from our Amazon store. Link given in description.